Can you really make an art piece every day for a whole month? Well, I'm challenging myself to this very idea every single day for the month of October. And on top of making an art piece every day, I'm also putting together a video of the whole process. I'll be using the Peachtober art prompt list. And I'll also be adding some extra challenges along the way. Some of these challenges will include monochromatic mode and left hand freaky, where I have to use my left hand for the entire process of a piece. Every piece will be inspired by the grocery store. It's something that I've loved since childhood, and it still inspires me today. It's going to be a big month, full of twists and turns and unexpecteds around every corner. And I'm pretty excited, but also terrified at the same time. So with that, let's get into the video. Howdy hey, I'm Kit Kat and welcome to day 2 of Peachtober. Today's prompt is kite, and it's time for heart attack time! And you might be asking, what is heart attack time? Well, let me tell you. This is the time in the video where I pick an extra challenge on top of the challenge of making an art piece every day. So let's pick our challenge for today. So I picked today's challenge. Okay, this one was literally based off of in that one song when it's like reverse, 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 reverse. Anyway, it was based off of that. But the challenge is I have to start with like the colors at the bottom and then work my way up, and then the last part of it is drawing over top, which is going to be kind of hard to do, but also like I did sketch it out, so I feel like I can put the sketch in, fill in like the color, and then finish with like the last part. So it'll be fine. We got it. So we've picked our challenge. The next thing is the color palette. These are the colors that I've picked for this piece. And I'm going to share more about my ideas behind the piece I'm going to make with the prompt. But before we get into that, I want to show you the sketch that I made for this design. And then we will start working. It's kind of funny because I did this sketch and then I also was still doing sketches for day 1, which we did yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, I did not use the sketches on this page for day 1, so you'll have to go check out the video for that. But basically, this is my sketch. We're going to go off of that, and here we go. I was super excited to start this piece, but also like I was really nervous at the same time because I've never done a piece in reverse order, so I was really intrigued as to how this was going to go. So I started off by taking some photos of the sketch that I originally had, and I also just did a little bit of research beforehand as to how to do it, and also a couple other things that I needed to prepare before I started on the piece. This is what my sketches looked like. I think the little girl on the popcorn cloud is really cute, and I'll get into more of that in a minute. But this is me working in my studio. Super excited to get started on day 2. I feel like we've passed a big hurdle by even just getting through day 1. Anyway, so this piece is inspired by popcorn, lol. But I thought it would be funny to make the popcorn into clouds in the sky. Also, so I could incorporate the prompt for the day, kite. So it's a bag of popcorn with a girl floating on one of the popcorn clouds, and then also there is a kite on the bag as well, and some other little details. And so that was the concept of it. I also named the popcorn company Puff of Air because I just think that's so funny. And I also was thinking about how when you buy a bag of popcorn or chips, like you always get so much extra air in the bag. So you're getting like a puff of popcorn, a puff of air, all that. Anyway, play on words, but I thought it was really funny. Doing it in reverse style was super interesting. It did help that I already had a sketch laid out, so I kind of used that as the backdrop to work from, and then I went from there in adding my own extra details and whatnot. So the first layer I did was, of course, what the bag was going to be, and I used a bright vibrant blue for it, and then I kind of started adding the clouds and the beginnings of the girl and the kite and all the details. And then towards the end you'll see this, but I also added an outline of basically everything, but that was the last step, which is usually when you do stuff digitally, that's like the first step, at least in my process. So this really forced me to get out of my comfort zone and also to kind of use my brain a little bit more mathematically in how I was making it, by going layer upon layer and thinking through, okay, what goes on top of what goes where, what order do I do this in so that I'm still completing the challenge at the same time. It was a little bit confusing at points, but we figured it out, and the more I got into it, the more I kind of enjoyed doing it this way. This is normally, in my opinion, how you actually would do a painting. Whenever I painted, the ending was always actually outlining and the beginning was putting down all the base. So it was really interesting to do a piece digitally that way, because usually in Procreate there's layers. So when you do the outline, you know you have all those layers where you can go underneath and do the extra coloring in, almost like a coloring book. But when you do a painting, you don't necessarily have that. You have to do your bottom layers first, and then you finish with the outline. And doing it this way made me realize I really miss painting, and it also made me realize I just haven't had a lot of time to paint, which is totally realistic with my schedule right now, as I work full time, I come home, I do art, I film it, I share the process. I love doing that, but I don't have time to work on painting. But maybe in 2026, that can be one of my goals for my art, is to have time to paint again, because it's something that I found really enjoyable and relaxing, and I miss it. I really liked this challenge idea, and I would like to do this again in my creating process. I think it actually forced me to think about the whole picture rather than the outline, because that's what I tend to usually start with. And so I really got to think about what colors I wanted as the first few layers, and end with a really bold blue as the outline to highlight everything that I created, and to also contrast a lot of the lighter colors in the piece. And overall, these challenges are really helping me to remain open-handed in my process and not focus so much on it needing to be perfect. I think that this was a really great way of getting me out of my comfort zone, and also reminding me of the things that I love, like painting, something that I would love to make time for in the future. So it was a really good challenge. To whoever recommended it, thank you. It really was helpful, and it really did make a difference, I think, in why this piece turned out the way it did. So I think I'm gonna just play some music and let you enjoy the rest of the creative process, and I'll see you at the end of the video. are now officially at the end of the video where I'm going to show you how the piece turned out. So here it is. I had a lot of fun with this one, and the reverse challenge was a cool way of doing it and just a new process of creating a piece in Procreate that I had not tried before. So it ended up being kind of a cool way of doing it. I'm super happy with how it turned out and the concept I had behind the art. Thank you for watching through the video, and make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, because there's still 29 days of content that will be coming out daily, where I'll be showing my process of every single piece I make for Peachtober, and I'm super excited about tomorrow's prompt. And with that, I will catch you on the flippity flop. See you tomorrow.